welcome back to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Brai Tate, and today I'm joined by head coach of the men's and women's swimming and diving team, Kelley Hilliker. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I just want to start a little bit with your swimming journey. I know yourself, you are a swimmer, how you got to be a coach here at SU.
Sure. So I started when I was 6 or 7. It was swimming was a skill that my parents wanted me to learn for survival, which is how I think a lot of swimmers start out. And it turned into this activity that I loved, and as much as I enjoyed doing it in the summer, I wanted to do it more and more. And so I joined a club team, swam club through high school, and I loved it. I had great friends, an incredible coach, and I decided to, it was something I could not live without, so I continued it in college at Bridgewater College. I was a backstroker and a 4IMer, but I dabbled in a little bit of everything. And, that college experience was really what made me want to be a coach. I loved being on deck. I loved helping my teammates. I loved talking strategy and looking at dual meets and champs and figuring out what the best lineup was. I loved that stuff. And when I graduated and started going to grad school, because I had to work during the day and go to classes at night, I couldn't coach, I couldn't swim, and it was during that time away from the pool that I realized I have to be on the deck. Even just watching swim meets, I was like, it felt wrong. And so it was in grad school that I really started looking into coaching. And of course, COVID hit during that time and all the jobs went away. But, I kind of kept at it, just looked at it as more time to learn about the sport and about coaching, and finally landed a full-time position at a club team outside of Richmond, Virginia, where I was the head A troop coach. And I loved every second of it. I loved interacting with the swimmers. I loved being able to mentor them. I loved just having them come in and be like, let me tell you about my day. I just loved that, and I loved being able to watch them kind of start at step 1 and grow all the way to step 10 and start qualifying to all these big meets and, drop time or just walk away from a practice proud. During that time, I volunteered at Randolph-Macon College because I really missed the college coaching environment. Club is wonderful, and it's how so many swimmers get started and learn the sport, but there's nothing like being at a college dual meet or a college champs where everything you do matters to the people around you, because it really becomes this team sport. And so I volunteered with Randolph-Macon, and when they got an assistant position, I kind of moved over into that full time and did that for 4 years, was able to learn a lot, get to know a lot of really wonderful people, really solidified my love for what I'm doing. And, it kind of came time where I really wanted the chance to be a head coach and kind of take the reins of my own program. And, that's how I found SU, and happy to be here. Excited for what we'll do this season.
Yeah. Last year, the men finished 5th and the women finished 4th at the Landmark Championships. Obviously, the biggest goal would be to win the Landmark, but do you have any other smaller goals for your team?
Absolutely. I would love to win Landmark champs, but I understand that the work it takes to climb that high in the conference, it takes more than one season. But, some of my goals for this year is I would love to see us move up. I would love to see us win a couple more dual meets. I'd love to see us break records, but I just want this year to be fun. I want this to, be a stable year. I want to be able to help mentor my athletes for their goals outside of the pool and, post-college. I want to, continue to facilitate a team culture that really promotes family, and I just want this to be an experience that my athletes walk away from feeling proud for their contribution to our culture, to our team, and proud of the effort that they put in every day.
Mm-hmm. You touched on this a little bit, but my question is, how would you describe your coaching style? Obviously very athlete-based, as you just said, but Is there any other way that you would describe it?
Yeah, I think, person first, I really want, my athletes to feel like I hear each and every one of them. Communication is huge. Like, I want to make sure that I'm talking to every single athlete every single day that we have practice. I don't want anyone to feel, left behind. I want my athletes to understand that all of their goals are important to me, no matter what they score at champs or whatever's going on in their life. I think on the deck, I like to be very present and visible. My distance swimmers, I want them to see me walking up and down the deck so they know that while they're swimming thousands of yards a day, like, they're not alone, that I'm there. I want my athletes to, see me cheering. I want to take time in between sets to talk about how did this set go, what can we do differently, what can we continue to do. Even just like, how is your day going? How is that impacting what we're doing now? What are things that you need from me or you need from your teammates? I don't want them to feel like they're coming in, being given a set and swimming on their own. Like, I want all of my athletes to understand that I'm there with them.
Mm-hmm. Yourself being new to the team and obviously bringing in some new freshmen, how are you preparing this off season to yourself fitting in the team and also the freshmen, not just in the weight room or training, but how would you prepare otherwise?
I think a lot of it is trying to understand who they are as athletes and who they are as people. So, doing research on what events have they swam, what splits have they gone, what has their race strategy been, kind of watching some videos to see what do their strokes look like. So that's kind of what I've been doing from an athlete data perspective, but also, just trying to talk to them about their goals and who they are as people, meeting with my captains to talk about team bonding, what do they need to feel empowered. Right now we're doing some goal meetings one-on-one, so talking to each individual, what are your goals for this season? What are your goals for the team? What are your goals outside of the pool? And so that's been a lot of the prep work, I think, is getting to know, my swimmers as athletes. And now that I'm on campus and I can actually talk to them in person, like, really getting to know who they are as individuals as well.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone that you look up to in swim?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely would not be here without all of the incredible people that I've met through the sport. So many of my college teammates who, saw me at my best and saw me at my worst and were there to encourage me and help me push. My sister was huge. Like, swimming with her in college and seeing her resilience and her kindness, absolutely. My parents, who had to put up with driving me every single day to practice and watch all of my 10-hour long meets. My club coach, who really inspired my love of swimming in the first place. My mentor at Randolph-Macon College, Brent Kinzer, who, is probably the reason I'm here today with everything that he taught me. All of, the female coaches that I've gotten to meet who, are pushing kind of the boundaries and who are making waves in athletics are also a huge inspiration. So, yeah, I'm so grateful for all the incredible people in athletics and in swimming that I've been able to get to know and who have inspired me and answer all my questions and help talk through things. Like, they're incredible.
Mm-hmm. Are there any obstacles that you have faced either as a swimmer or as a coach?
Yeah, I think, I've been very fortunate in my swimming career and coaching career to not have a ton of obstacles. I've known a lot of wonderful people. I didn't have any injuries, thankfully, and I'm so grateful for the privilege that was extended to me, that I was able to have 4 full years and great teammates and great coaches. I think if there was any obstacle, it would probably have been myself. Like many athletes, I was very hard on myself, and I tended to over-critique my swims, and it definitely hurt my mindset going into races, and it definitely hurt some of the moments that I should look back on and be like, I had a great time with my teammates. You know, it's still, even today, it's still something where there are times where I'm like, if I had just done this, and it's, you know, it was 4, 5, 6 years ago now. And so I think my mindset and my mental game was probably my biggest obstacle when it came to my own career. And it's, you know, the one I think good takeaway is it's something that I'm very cognizant of, and it's something that I really want to help my athletes with as well.
Well, do you have any tips for if your athletes experience a mind block or a battle with themselves?
I think, you know, one of the pieces is reminding them that they're not alone, that their teammates want to be there for them, that I want to be there for them, and I want them to communicate. I want them to understand that who they are, you know, the times on the board are not who they are. But I think, you know, something that we're going to work on a lot this season is finding the things that you can control, you know, and what that looks like and what helps each athlete is probably different, but you know, you can't control what anyone else in the pool is doing. You can't control what prep they've had. You can't control what opportunities were or were not afforded to them. And so it's finding those things like, can you control your breathing? Can you control your pre-race routine? How long you're in the warm-up, cool-down pool at champs? You know, what prep you're doing before practice to make sure you're loose. You know, your splits in practice or your recovery at night. Finding those things where it's like, this is something that you control that is helping you right now. And, you know, learning that there are things that we can control and the things that we can't control. And taking data from it. You know, I don't really like to accept answers from my swimmers after a swim of that was bad, or that felt bad, or my turns felt bad. That gives us nothing. That's out of our control. Like, how you feel about a race, like, I can't do anything with that. But what I can do is, you know, if your turn felt bad, what about it did you not like? Was it your push off? Was it the way you approached it? Because that we can take as data, and that we can change for the next one. And then we can walk away knowing, like, it felt bad, it's over. Can't do anything about it now, but you can take what you've learned and translate it into the next race. Same thing with, like, it felt good. What felt good? I can't do anything about a race that felt good, but I can do, you know, we can talk about the things that went well so that we can continue to work on it in practice, or we can use it in the next race. And so it's finding the things that athletes can control, making sure they understand that they're not alone and that the races do not define them, and looking at the races as data.
Thank you for joining me today, and
Absolutely.
I wish you and your team luck this next season.
Thank you.
I'm Brai Tate, and this is Kelley Hilliker, and thank you for watching another episode of Coach's Corner.